Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Yeah, we're gonna be playing. We're gonna be playing some machines today. I have featured this deck on my channel before, so I don't know. There's not like a ton to really talk about. Side deck is different than what I usually do. Um, when I was playing this deck at first, I was using like kind of like a transition side into like different levels and dimension fusions and that sort of thing. Most people though are doing this kind of side, so I felt like I would try this instead. I think the transition side, I think you could argue that it works better in ladder, but the problem is in a tournament environment, people just know that you're transition siding. So that could be like a potential issue. And I mean, I'm not sure if this is true because I don't play in tournaments, but I've heard that like some tournaments are even doing like open deck lists now, where like every round you know exactly what's in your opponent's main inside. I don't know how many tournaments, how many online tournaments are doing that, but that's like another case where it makes transition siding like a little harder. And I actually played this deck. I played it a few games on ladder yesterday, and I've played it a lot in general. I think it's interesting because I mean there's definitely like a lot of variance here for sure. Sometimes you just draw really well and you just win in your first battle phase. Other times you draw really poorly and it's kind of like, an uphill climb, so to speak. But in general, like I think the deck's best matchups are any sort of like control deck, right? Like a slow, non-aggressive deck that does not play Scapegoat, which, I mean, that would mainly be Chaos Turbo, which isn't really, a turbo deck. But that kind of deck, this deck does very well against because almost all of their cards you don't care about, right? Like, they can go like Pot of Greed, Magician of Faith, whatever, and you just don't really care that much, which is nice. And then versus something like Goat Control, the main thing that you're watching out for is Scapegoat. But we do have outs to that. It's not like Scapegoat is some unbeatable card. And then Warriors can also be problematic, or just any sort of aggro deck in general, because of the fact that like they can just get you under 5,000 and then your life gets a lot harder. And then post side, they also have King Tiger Wangu, which stops like your Scapegoat and Cyberstein, which is kind of huge. So I don't think this deck is necessarily like the best meta call right now because there's a lot of Warriors running around. But I think it does well enough versus like a Chaos deck. But yeah, I mean, sometimes like you can just draw badly and lose. That definitely happens too. Like, even this hand isn't amazing. The one sort of saving grace here is that we have like a Scapegoat. This deck like really heavily relies on Scapegoat because we play like 3 Monster Gates, 3 metas, and a lot of builds of this a lot of builds of this deck, like, they don't play the full 3 metas. But I've gotten good results with 3 metas, so it's like I'm going to keep playing it, you know? And yeah, I mean, as we can see here, our opponent, like, doesn't really appear to be playing a real deck. But the thing is like, we can still lose to this, right? Like, this sort of almost goes perfectly with what I was saying, in the sense that, I said, like, something you just draw bad and lose. Yeah, now our opponent is, like, playing Air Knight. Our opponent's playing Thunder Dragon, Giant German, Air Knight. And we might just lose to it. But we do have, like, a Fusler now. Yeah, and now we just, like, drew Stein and can't really do anything. We might be able to, like, find a win, though. I think we're gonna go, like, set Stein, go to end phase, and discard blowback and say go. And the next turn we're gonna try to do like Churnade, Premature, Fusler, Megamorph Limiter, attack for game. I mean, it might not work. We might just be dead here. Like, our opponent might just, I don't know, have like a ring or something. Or like, maybe he'll just cross out our Stein and, I don't know, like pierce over a goat, summon another monster. Oh, this is great, actually. We don't take any damage. Oh, this is actually awesome. And then now we can, like, Monster Gate. The question is, do we want to, like, Premature before we Churnade? Because if we do, we get to use Premature again. It's like a question of, like, how greedy do we want to be? Yeah, he could have, like, a... I don't know. I feel like he might have, like, a Raigeki break or something. Of course, if he has Raigeki break, he could have chained it on our goat token. But maybe he doesn't want to. Like, maybe he doesn't think it's worth it. Oh, Dark Mage Chaos. Like, if we had meta, that would be nice. Ah, he's still dead. He's still dead. We can get, like, Vortex or Snatch. It's kind of the same thing here, I think. Oh, Chandy, you're talking about, like, stats? That's what you mean by, yeah, stat thresholds? I have considered it, to be honest. Like, talking about, like, sort of the different stats. Because, like, 18 is kind of, like, mid, you know what I mean? Like, cards like Strike Ninja aren't so good because they're, like, 17. Whereas, like, cards like Zombira are good because they're, like, 21. And then obviously you have, like, other thresholds that matter, but, like, 1800 is, like, kind of the main one. Alright, well, it's not side, I guess. But yeah, it's like, we almost lost there. And that kind of, like, demonstrates what I was talking about, where, like, sometimes you can just draw badly and lose, you know? The Soul Exchange, though... The Soul Exchange was so good for me. Yeah, this is like another one where our hand is just not... Our hand is just not very good at all. Again, the one good thing about our hand is that we have Scapegoat. But the last game our opponent played an Air Knight, so... And it's funny, Dust Shoot is actually, like, really bad against our deck. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you, like, main it, you probably shouldn't side it out unless, like, you have something really good to put in. But, like, sending back that Demock there, I mean, it just did nothing, right? Like... If you send back Stein, of course, that's really good, but Stein, we only play 2 of those. So most of the time when you Dust Shoot, it's not going to do anything. And actually now, if our opponent passes again, we can end phase Goats, and then go Heavy Storm Monster Gate. Yeah. Oh, and we drew Graceful. That is so sick. So yeah, well, Heavy Storm, I guess. Okay, I guess he plays Goats too. I might just say go. Like, just let him Goat Lock himself? I don't know, that could... Alright, you know, I'll just say go. Here's the thing, if we just keep drawing and passing, that favors me as the combo player. But yeah, next game we should side in at least 1 token Thanksgiving. Oh, whoops. I had caps lock. Oh, he's playing Thestalos. Yeah, I'll just pass again. Yeah, now he's Goat Locked. It's gonna take him... Oh no, he's gonna Tribute. Okay, that's fair. So what I'd actually like here would just be a meta. Just meta take the Air Knight. Yeah, and now I'm gonna Graceful just because, like, our hand has some bad cards. And there's, like, a lot of stuff we could draw that would help us. Lightning Vortex would be really good. Meta would be really good. That's, like, 4 cards out of 29. And our opponent just quit. But yeah, Chandy, I agree Berserk Gorilla is not that good. And I also don't think Magical Merchant is that good. Berserk Gorilla, though, like, if Berserk Gorilla was light or dark, I mean, it wouldn't make sense for a gorilla to be light or dark, just flavor-wise. But hypothetically, if it was light or dark, Berserk Gorilla would see, like, tons of play. The problem is that, like, among the Earth attribute, you have all of these cards that have better stats. Like, in Earth, you can play Goblin Attack Force. You could play Jirai Gumo. You have, like, DD Assailant. You know what I mean? So it's, like, Berserk Gorilla, like, it's kind of, like, outclassed in its attribute. Even if, for whatever reason, like, even if Berserk Gorilla was water for some reason, right? Like, all of a sudden you'd have people where it's like, oh, I'm gonna play, like, Abyss Soldier and Sinister, and then I'm gonna, like, splash a couple of Berserk Gorillas to kind of support my Abyss Soldier, right? That'd be like another thing you could do. Although like the fire attribute is just terrible in goat format. So if Berserk Gorilla was fire, that would not help. But hold on. Berserk Gorilla is better suited for last Will decks. I don't see how that's true. I mean, I don't think it's bad in a last Will deck, but I don't know. Maybe there's some synergy I'm missing. Oh, you could turn it to defense and then trigger your last Will. I mean, you can, I guess, but again, it's another thing where like, what last Will deck like really wants to be doing that? I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting. Like, if you played like last Will in like a Reasoning Gate deck, you can like activate last Will, Reasoning into Berserk Gorilla, special summon it in defense, and trigger your last. I don't know. To me, that seems like you're jumping through a few too many hoops there. But I guess, like, I think the one deck where that maybe could work is, like, kind of, like, a more aggressive, like, Rescue Cat deck. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. So our opponent went set monster pass. We have premature. So I think because of that, I mean, we could even go, like, Fusel meta. But I don't think we need to. I think I'm just going to summon this and attack. Oh, speak of the devil. Yeah, I think Rescue Cat actually... I don't know. I think it's roughly an even matchup. You could maybe make the argument Rescue Cat is favored. I like how our opponent's just going for the full combo into our back row. He's just like, yep, I just know your back row is nothing. He's also playing triple Milus Radiant, which I think is a little risky in like a Rescue Cat deck, if I'm being totally honest. Wow, he's playing triple Milus Radiant and DD Crazy Beast. That is like just so many bricks. Alright. Yeah, we're dead. I mean, if you want to see if it's one of the best ways to play Reasoning Gate, just play the deck. Like, don't know what to tell you. Yeah, this is like one of the few matchups where we basically have nothing to side in. I mean, you could argue like Mystic Walk, maybe. I mean, I guess like Torrential would have been good. I don't know, if our opponent's just going for the combo, we should probably be siding in Torrential. Oh, I guess also Threatening Roar. No. Threatening Roar definitely has to come in, too. I mean, Lightning Vortex, I think, is just doing nothing in this matchup, right? What are we ever killing with a Lightning Vortex? Even Snatch Steal isn't amazing. Like, it's fine, I guess. Why not? I didn't know it was a... I mean, I knew it was a cat deck after I attacked, but I didn't think my opponent would just, like, have full combo and just go for it into my back row. Right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it can work, but, like, it can also work against us. Like, our opponent can have Snatch Steal or something, and then... Now we're... I get it's like most people won't just go, like, full combo into your back row. And I know some people are like, oh, get outplayed, whatever. But, like, you know, our opponent didn't know what we had. He didn't even go into, like, Panda. Like, even if we just had goats there, we would have just destroyed him. But, Yeah, now I'm just thinking, is there something better than this snatch deal? I don't know. I mean, like, even now, right? Like, even now we could just go Stein into Last Warrior, but, like, I feel like, I don't know. Well, even if he knew we were on Machine Gate, it's like, I don't know. To me, it's... Because realize when we set a back row there, a lot of the time it's going to be goats. And, like, he didn't even go to pandas or anything. Yeah, I'll just activate goats here. Oh yeah, and he has to attack. I always special summon the 4 goats thinking maybe my opponent won't attack one, but Berserk Gorilla actually has to attack. That's what the card does. Yeah, I'll just set this and say go. Yeah, I mean, saying like, oh, I'm just not gonna respect their back rows. They play 3 goats and a Mirror Force. But yeah, if our opponent doesn't win this turn, we're winning the next turn guaranteed. Now the question is, so we can take these hits. Hold on. I'm going to use Jar of Greed when my opponent enters the battle phase. And... see, if we take these hits... it's guaranteed game if our opponent doesn't have Just Desert, Secret Barrel, or Ring of Destruction. Or Ceasefire. I don't know. I think I'll just Mirror Force. And the reason why I was considering leaving them alone is, you know, because the Snatch deal, right? I guess I'll Monster Gate just for the heck of it. There's not really a downside to Monster Gating here. Okay, now he's dead. Maybe we could have just gone for it last turn. I don't know. Maybe we could have just gone for it last turn. But yeah, the Berserk Gorilla Last Duel interaction is interesting. And we know now, I mean, he does run Panda, as expected. Man, this is like the one matchup where like having like a second threatening roar in the side would be pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It would be pretty nice. Yeah, I think we're leaving in Snatch still, though. Now that we saw, like, Berserk Gorilla, that definitely means we're leaving in Snatch. Should we... If we're siding in Swords, are the questions, what are we taking out? Like, what card here... I mean, maybe you could argue that, like, we could side out, like, a meta for a Swords. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can make the case. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, this is a good hand. I like it because we got a Trinity piece, and we have Scapegoat, and we have Reasoning, and we have we got a lot of good stuff here. We got a lot of good stuff. Well, Swords is mainly for like an actual aggro deck. The problem is, I mean, I don't know exactly what this guy's deck list is, but if he's got like 3 Trunades and Heavy, I'm not really in love with Swords. If he has like 3 Trunades and a Heavy. I mean, even here, like, I'm thinking of going like set Torrential, set Goats, pass. If he just goes like, Heavy Storm, summon Panda, run over your Goat or whatever, that puts us in like a really rough spot. I might just Graceful, actually, because, yeah, I'm just going to Graceful. With this deck, I often like to hold Graceful, but since our opponent, like, just ended on no back row, I feel like, we don't really get punished for this play, Because as long as these Reasonings and Gates get something that's, like, half decent, we're just gonna limit her and kill him. So now he's probably gonna call 2 again on the second Reasoning. He's gonna have a 2 out of 5 chance of guessing it correctly. Which is fine, okay. Probably like 60% chance we just win on the spot then. Yeah. Yeah, and now... Yeah, now I think this is game regardless of what we get off the Monster Gate. And if we flip correctly on the blowback, this is game even through a Karibo. Yeah, so he's playing like kind of like the aggro build of Cat, where it's like Gigantes, Goblin Attack Force, Berserk Gorilla. Which, I mean, I think it can be good. I don't necessarily know which build of Cat is better. And maybe you run one inside into the other. I mean, I think against our deck, though, you kind of want the burn cards because we're playing Stein, right? But yeah, I feel like if you're him there, it's like... One of the things, by the way... One of the things that I think makes combo decks worse in tournaments is that if people know you're on a combo deck, they can bluff you more. And obviously, they're like in game 3. You know, he knew what our deck was. And because of that, I feel like you need to set like at least one back row. Right? Just to make me think that maybe it's not safe to go off. Jesus Christ. I pretty much would have preferred that he hit anything other than Stein. And this is why, by the way, like, I swear, some people say that, like, oh, Delinquent Duo should get removed from GOAT format. No, it shouldn't, because, like, if Delinquent Duo didn't exist, combo decks would just win every single... I mean, maybe not win every single tournament, but they would win a lot more, I'll put it that way. Because, like, the pot and the graceful, I don't care about. You can draw as many cards as you want. It's not going to stop me from killing you. But, like, the duo... You know, the duo is what screwed us over. Like, if there is some way, hypothetically, that I could force people to take out Delinquent Duo and add a second pot of greed to their deck... Oh, man, I would have a field day. And yeah, I'd say we're like 90% to lose this game, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get lucky. We're going to go snatch Monster Gate and try to get lucky. Like, Dark Magician of Chaos, I think, would be the best hit. Alright, I think I'm just gonna go for it. Should I... Hold on. Could be like Golem Sentry, though. I kind of just want to summon Fuseler. And just have Fuseler attack the face down and have Master of Oz go for game. Oh no, it's not even game. It would be 89. It would be 89. I mean, we're probably just, like, screwed no matter what here, right? We could go Gatling. 52. We could go Last Warrior. Or no, 84. Oh, no, 84, 91. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for game. This is not gonna work most of the time, but it's going to, you know, work like 10% of the time, and I think that gives me the best odds to win. Oh! This is exactly what happened. This is exactly game. 14. I take 12. Yeah, 6. This is exact game. This is literally exact game. Yeah. It is 91. 91 minus 100. So what do we saw? We saw Mataza. We saw Big Shield Gardna. We saw Golem Sentry. And then he's playing some sort of warrior deck, we have to assume. And, you know, it's funny. Like, Gravity Bind is a card that's in my side, like, pretty much specifically for warriors. But he's playing Mataza the Zapper, which, like, makes it kind of shit. But this is definitely a matchup where, like, Swords is coming in. Definitely a matchup where Torrential's coming in. Oh, is Cypher Soldier good enough? Yeah, I mean, it might be, well, yeah, we don't know. Like, it's weird because he's playing, like, Big Shields. Oh, it's such a weird matchup. I don't know. I'll try the Cypher Soldier over the Blowback. Because that's a swap that I'm going to make for, like, most warrior decks. And I don't know. I'm gonna try this. It might be bad. And Brain Control's like another one where it's like Brain Control is supposed to be for warriors, but he's playing like Mataza the Zapper, which can't be brain controlled, and he's playing like a lot of face down stuff, like, you know, Golem Sentry and Big Shield. So I don't know. You know, if Brain Control is going to be any good. But yeah, that last game, it's one of those games where 90% of the time my play isn't going to work. But, like, you know, if you are really far behind, sometimes you just have to take a risk and just hope it pans out. Why would he side in Gravity Bind versus me? I mean, he discarded it, which I guess is correct. Or maybe he was maining Gravity Bind. But yeah, I like this hand. I like this hand a lot. We got, like, Goat's meta, Reasoning, and Cyberstein. So, yeah. I think we can definitely cook with this hand. And he discarded Panda, too. That almost makes me think he has, like, a second Panda. I think we will take the Sengen hit and then go to the Rat. And we want to do this so that our Megamorph is live. Right, we want to have lower life than our opponent. Well, this Cypher Soldier's looking like a pretty shit card right now. I don't know. I guess we can do this. Alright, that's fine. And this is why I like playing multiple metas in a lot of these matchups. Like, against any kind of aggro deck, a big part of how we're going to win the matchup is Goat's meta, which is why I'm maxing out on both. Yeah, I mean, we could just win with this Graceful. It is... Yeah, it's quite possible we could just win. Well, the cards I drew off this Graceful were not amazing. Not what I would call amazing. Yeah, we got rid of the swords. We can Monster Gate our Thousand Eyes. And we've got 4 Reasoning / Monster Gate targets left in our deck. At this point, we just need, like, a Trunade or a Heavy, right? Like, we basically just want, like, Trunade or Heavy. And we got 4 copies of them in a 26-card deck. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, I don't really care if you guys can see my username. I think it's pretty well known at this point anyways. But, yeah, this is supposed to be the setup where everything, you know, aligns correctly. But yeah, the Thousand Eyes is doing work. And this is cool, too, because we can Trunade, return everything, then use Thousand Eyes, take his face down, and then I'm, like, pretty sure it's just game. Right? It's, yeah, this should just be game. Unless he, like, changed something. You know, he changed something to Trunade that is some sort of relevant piece of interaction. Okay, luckily that's only 15. And unless Sagid searches Karibo, he's just dead no matter what. Like, the worst Monster Gate hit would be Stein, because we already have one in our hands. But hold on, let me do the math. So 92 minus... Oh no, it's actually... Yeah, because we can go Vortex, discard... Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, it's game no matter what. Unless our opponent plays Karibo. So I want to put extra damage in play, just in case our opponent actually does play Karibo. I mean, Karibo is it's like an actual real card. Like, it's not some sort of joke. Like, Karibo is an actual card that people play, like, in their side decks. And there are times, like, there are going to be times where your opponent will have Karibo, but you're like limitering like 1,000 machine monsters and it doesn't matter. But more often than not, probably 90% of the time, Karibo is going to stop you from winning. I mean, there it's like, I don't think there's any way we were going to OTK through a Karibo unless like we put a Dark Magician of Chaos in play somehow, and then like the Dark Magician of Chaos got back a Monster Gate, then we Monster Gated the Goat token, and then we just put like a million things in play. But, you know, it is worth mentioning. And we still never really figured out exactly what our opponent's deck was. Yeah, it was just like kind of a warrior, rat, whatever. But game one of that last match, though, was wild. If you just, like, got to the stream and you missed it, be sure to, like, go watch the, you know, divide. And then here it's, like, question of should we go for game? Because we can Churnade, we can activate Reasoning. Our opponent will probably call the Reasoning wrong. Problem, though, is we don't have, like, a limiter or a Megamorph. So, because of that, we could go, like, Reasoning. I don't know. I don't think we're going to go for it. X-Head Cannon. Well, we basically have to Mirror Force. Oh, and now he's dead. Okay. And here, like, I'm gonna assume people don't main deck Karibo. So, rather than activate Reasoning and Monster Gate and showing him all the cards in my deck, I'm just going to play the minimum amount of cards for game. I do think Warriors should... I mean, I don't like speaking in absolutes. You know, as they say, only Sith deal in absolutes. But, yeah, I think King Tiger is about as close to like a side deck staple in Warriors as you can get. Just because it's good for so many things. I mean, I even talked about at the beginning of the stream, King Tiger is extremely good versus our deck. Because it stops Stein and it stops Scapegoat, which are arguably like the two most important cards in our entire deck. So, yeah, King Tiger definitely is quite good against us. I might even... This is also a matchup where I just might side in Gravity Bind. Gonna try it. I don't know. We're gonna try some things. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, Tiger, it's mainly there for stuff like goat control. But, yeah, like, the Reason Gate stuff is kind of, you know, collateral damage. Yeah, it's decent versus Library. It's not, like, unbeatable or anything. But, like, you're definitely siding it in against Library, that's for sure. And this is rough. This is a little rough because I want to pass, but if we do pass, I feel like our opponent is just gonna get us under 5,000, and that's kind of an issue. I don't know. Maybe he'll call level 8 on this reasoning. He's probably gonna call 2. Yeah, he's gonna call 2. Maybe like blowback. Well, all right. Now we're just losing. All right, I'm gonna make him think we have a Mirror Force set again. I mean, our hand would have been fine if we were going first. It would have been better if we were going first. Okay, we're only taking 29, though. We're only taking 29. Problem, though, is that, like, if, I don't know, say we, like, top deck, like, a premature, you know, won't really do anything. Yeah, I mean, we're losing this game. You know, if our opponent had called the reasoning wrong, I don't know. Like, say, obviously I knew he was gonna call level 2, but he only had a 2 out of 6 chance to guess it correctly. So what I was hoping is we'd, like, reasoning into a blowback, use blowback's effect, kill something, then monster gate the blowback into, like, a Stein. And then, I don't know, maybe Stein use effect, tribute for Demock. Oh my god. Why is... Man, I tell you, I cited in all these anti-aggro cards. Didn't see any of them. Alright, fine. I tell you, how is it that we can have, like, Mirror Torrential, Gravity Bind, and, like, 3 goats, and swords, and Brain, and then, like, hardly see any of them? A little unlucky. Is there anything we change? I don't know. Call it a day. Going first, though, definitely helps. Going first is better than not going first. Could set mirror, but I don't want to get absolutely demolished by a heavy storm. I mean, I guess we're discarding meta. It's pretty awkward that he hit our True Nade with Duo. You know, I almost would have preferred that he, like, hit our Mirror Force or something. Yeah, now he's gonna, like, MSTR Gravity Bind and, like, attack us for a bunch of damage. you know, probably something like that will happen. And the reason why I don't like the fact that he, like, hit our... Here's the thing, it's like, Swords and Trunade is normally not going to be, like, a thing that you do too much. But Gravity Bind and Trunade is, like, a big... It's, like, a big part of the reason that I have Gravity Bind in the side, is the idea that we can, you know... We can Trunade it and then go off. So it's like, if we had Trunade here, our opponent would just be dead. Well, he'd be close to dead, at least. And even here, it's like, we can go Stein and then Monster Gate the Stein and then hope it's like a Jinzo. But that's only a 1 out of 5 chance. Obviously, if we hit Demock... Well, I don't know, because if we hit Demock, then we can get back Trunade. And then go for game, maybe? I wonder if, like, setting Stein is ever worth it here. We can, like, set Stein, flip the Stein next turn, use Stein's effect, tribute for blowback. We have 2 Trunades and a Heavy in our deck. That's a 10% chance every turn to draw one. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like... Again, the issue is, like... 40% of our Monster Gate hits are good, and then the other 60% are just entirely unhelpful. They just do nothing. So... I don't know. I mean, today I feel like I've been very conservative, and maybe that's wrong, right? Like, maybe I shouldn't... You know, maybe I should be taking more risks. Maybe that's correct. Okay, yeah, I was gonna remind him on Bazoo, but he did it. And we have Metamorphosis. Does that change anything? I don't think that really changes much. And now, of course, he has, like, 2 other back rows. Oh, this is frustrating. This is very frustrating. Because, like, the duo hitting the Trunade, like, if it hit any other card in our hand, we would... You know, we would be doing some stuff. I mean, we can Stein for Thousand Eyes, take, like, Bazoo, and then start attacking with Thousand Eyes. But, I mean, that doesn't seem great. We can also just, you know, just kind of go, like, Tactical Stein. Next turn, tribute the Stein for blowback. And then just go boom, boom, boom. Start popping cards. I don't know. I'm going to try it. It might be the wrong play. But I think the plan is, like, Stein for Gatling. Whatever. He was technically supposed to torrential before I started flipping stuff. But it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really need to clear the set monster. But yeah, I do kind of feel like we need more of a game plan in these kinds of matchups here. Yeah, nothing's really changed. Yeah, we're just gonna keep drawing and passing for a while, I think. You know, next turn if we brick again... We're gonna, you know... Next turn if we brick again, we're just gonna discard blowback in the end phase. He's gonna meta his Sork? Oh, he's just gonna tribute for Jinzo, isn't he? I mean, he's playing a bunch of machines, so it would make sense that he has Jinzo. He's like trying to return. He's like trying to... He's trying to return and then not bring back all the guys. Like, that's not how return works. And he just quit. Like, I wasn't a dick about it. I didn't call him a retard. Like, I said, hey, just special summon all your guys. And then he just quits. Like... I don't know. It's like, people, like, they have, like, too much shame. Like, oh, I forgot that that's how that card worked. Okay, I'll just quit. I mean, he was probably going to win that game. He was probably going to win that game somehow. I don't want the victory either. Like, and I swear, it's like, someday I'll figure out why this is the case. But I played, like, a bunch of games yesterday, off stream. Everyone was playing meta decks. They all knew how their cards worked. And no one quit out. Then it's like, I play one day later. And all of a sudden, you know, all of a sudden, like, everyone is just playing decks with giant germ and, you know, XYZ monsters or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm just complaining about nothing. But it's like, I just want to play some real games, you know? You know, win or lose, just want to play some real games. Yeah, I'll just go for it. Alright, so as long as Gatling doesn't flip 0 heads, we just win. And I actually, it's funny, I had a game yesterday, again, you know, off stream I had a game, where my opponent's board was exactly this, and I went triple Gatling to clear all the monsters. Like, I went Stein into Gatling, meta Gatling for Gatling, meta Gatling for Gatling, clear all the monsters. And yeah, now I lost because I just flipped all tails. And this is probably a spy, but if it's not, we win. All right. And that's not why, like, Big Bang Shot is an unsearchable card that's dead like 90% of the time. Like, it's... Like, Token Thanksgiving is a better card than Big Bang Shot because of the fact that it does basically the same thing but also gains us life. And it's like... I will say it's like this is just how the deck works in the sense that I have a 7 out of 8 chance to win. Okay, well that means 1 out of 8 times you won't win. I mean that's just how probability works, right? If the weatherman says there's a 10% chance that it's going to rain, 1 out of 10 times it will actually rain. Yeah, I was playing Econ in my list before. But it ended up getting cut for Mirror Force. But yeah, Econ it... I mean, if you have Scapegoat, it's good. And even here, it's like we can gain 24 off our Token Thanksgiving, if we want to. Yeah, I'm lagging. Let's see. Stein, Megamorph Limiter. Problem is, we're just going to lose to a set Goats if he has it. So let's see, 20... Let's see... 52... 10... Yeah, it's not quite enough. If he had goats, he would have set it last turn. So next turn, I'm going for game no matter what next turn. Like, if he just top-decked the goats... And I think Lily was the card he top-decked. I don't think he shuffled his hands. Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Yeah, I simply do not believe him here. Yeah, I flipped 3 tails again. So we know he plays Decree. I mean, it's pretty... In my opinion, it's pretty bad for him to, like, leave in Decree versus us, but still something worth noting. But I might just side out, like, Jaragrids just to... I don't know. Have less things that get hit by Decree. Might just side out, like, a Jar for our swords. Might just try that. So it seems like he's just playing goat control, right? So if you chain book to Thousand Eyes effect, Thousand Eyes doesn't suck up anything. In goat format. In current format, it works differently. But yeah, I'm guessing our opponent is just playing goat control. Because we saw, like, Goat's Decree. Well, we also saw Night Assailant. So, like, Goat's Decree, Night Assailant, Injection, Fairy Lily? I don't know. I mean, it might just be some weird brew. But it seems most like a goat control deck. No, he actually didn't misplay. He did the correct play, because if he Book of Mooned our Thousand Eyes in main phase, we would have summoned Stein and attacked him for game. So he actually played it... He played it 100% correctly. think I should have set Fusler. Yeah, speaking of misplays. Because now he can, like, MST and attack us for, like, a bunch of damage. Yeah, this is silly. I tell you, this is one of, like... This is one of the matchups where Wing Blast is just so much better than Raigeki Break. So much better than Raigeki Break. Alright, what's our plan here? Well, let's see. If we Monster Gate... Yeah, I mean, Wengu versus Thousand Eyes, it works the same way that it's always worked. Like, Wangu's effect doesn't just magically disappear. And this guy's, like, shit-talking me in chat, which is really unnecessary. Oh, I hope he doesn't have cross out. Oh, he's just saying, like, oh, your deck is cheap, like, that sort of nonsense. Yeah, if enough people ask me, I'll switch to library or empty jar. Yeah, I just don't want, like, another Stein. DMOC would be absolutely sick. Blowback is also really sick. Oh, whoops. Jesus Christ, another Tails? I've literally flipped 8 Tails in a row. Like, it's actually really triggering. I mean, it's fine because, like, you know, next turn we can just use Blowback's effect again. Did he just have, like, Snatch Steal? Why would he just MST Swords? That makes no sense. I've literally flipped, like, all Tails tonight. I've just straight up flipped all Tails. I've flipped 12 coins. I've flipped 12 coins in this match, and 11 of them were Tails. It is actually so gross. Alright, and now he just has the book. This, like, oh my god. Yeah, and now he just clears both our monsters after we just flip all tails the entire game. Let's see, he's used heavy. And he searched sinister. This guy, like, has to talk shit in chat every single turn. I mean, I'm gonna assume this is probably sinister. It might not be. It very well might not be sinister, but we need to, you know, we need to assemble a win condition at some point. He's got no light in his grave. Well, there's a light. Oh, we take 13. Well, Monster Gate doesn't help unless we Monster Gate into DMOC. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I still don't think we're favored here. Oh, that is such a shitty draw. That is such a shitty draw. Unless we top deck like a premature burial or something. Yeah, there's just nothing I can do here. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm gonna get swapped. I don't know why he set his sinister. Okay, so like if this pot draws us into a premature burial, then we win. Heavy Storm is absolutely not at all what I needed. Yeah, I just can't do anything. I mean, I can Vortex discard Demock, but that's it. Well, I'm not dead yet. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, I got like about as unlucky in that game as possible. Flip tails on every single blowback in Gatling. Went pot agreed. Drew into like more True Nades and Heavy Storms, which I didn't need. It's brutal. It's brutal. Like if I got even just slightly luckier, we would have won that match. Yeah, I mean, his Jinzo does nothing because we play, like, 0 traps. Our Jinzo was okay. I mean, it's not even, like, the coin toss. It's that like, the interesting thing about, like, combo decks like this, and this applies to even, like, normal reasoning, is you want to draw, like, a bunch of different pieces. So, like, if you're playing a normal reasoning gate deck, you don't want to draw, like, 3 reasonings or 3 dimension fusions, right? You want to draw, like, kind of one of everything. And in some of these games, it's like, you know, that wasn't happening. Like, there, it's like, you know, I had, like, 2 True Nades and a Heavy, and then the game against, like, the Warrior guy, it was like the opposite, or not the Warrior guy, the Machine guy was like the opposite, where I had like no True Nades or Heavies. Thunder Dragon and Kaiku. Yeah, you don't want to draw like 1,000 limiter removals either. I mean, sometimes like 2 limiter removals. What's the record? I think I'm like 4-1. But it's like some opponents have like just quit out, so it's like, I don't know, like if you really count those as wins. Why would he send back Dark Magician to Chaos? That just seems so weird. Is he gonna call 8? Okay, he's gonna call 2. Yeah, so now he's got a 50-50 chance of getting this reasoning right. Well, let's see. Sorry, I'm just thinking here. Is there like any universe where? Okay, yeah. So this Monster Gate has a 2/3 chance of giving us a Cyberstein, and obviously if it does, we just win. Okay, yeah, no, we just win. Well, flips all tails again. Yes, we got kind of lucky there. Yeah, why didn't I metamorphosis the Master of Oz into Master of Oz? That's a good question. So we saw a Thunder Dragon, Kaiku, and Dust Shoot. I mean, it could just be like a Chaos Turbo deck with one Kaiku tech in the main, or it could be like an actual like sort of Chaos Warrior aggro thing. I mean, as far as someone else asked that earlier, it really depends on the meta. Like, if you expect... I mean, it's hard to say. If you expect your meta to be, like, all Chaos Turbo, then I think this build is better. I think that much is clear. If you expect the meta to be, like, a lot of GOAT control, then I think the other reasoning thing is better. And then, like, if you expect Warriors, I don't know which one is better. Because I don't think either build of Reason and Gate is very good against Warriors. Part of the reason, by the way, like, at some point I'm going to make a video on, like, why Warriors just do so well in general. Don't hit Pre. Okay, he did not hit Pre. Part of the reason that, like, Warriors do so well is because they, like, counter... the control decks, well, not really the control decks. Warriors counter Chaos Turbo, and they also, as a side effect, counter the combo decks, like this. And, like, that's a very, like, powerful sort of matchup spread to have. Where it's like, hey, I counter the most popular deck, and if someone, you know, shows up with something, you know, a little off the wall, I probably counter that too. Oh, I tell you, I hope we just top deck like a Pot of Greed. Just like Pot of Greed, Premature. Pot of Greed again. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. Don't chain Threatening Roar. Okay, you can chain Jar Greed. That's fine. But like games like this are why I love this deck, because our opponent went Thunder Dragon, Duo, Graceful, and we might FTK him. Like, think of how crazy of a statement that is. Our opponent went Thunder Dragon, Duo, Graceful, and it might just not matter. Yes, now we go Premature for Demok, get back Churnade, Premature Stein, Stein for Gatling, attack for game. Yeah, I don't think there's like a better line than that, right? I don't think either build of like Reasoning Gate, or sorry. I don't think either build of Reasoning Gate does better or worse versus Jowgen, because both builds have roughly like the same number of outs. Hold on. Let me do some math. We might not need to flip coins. So let's see. 33, 66. 66 plus 1,000 is 76. Yeah, this is just game. Yeah, I mean, Jowgen is definitely, like, one of the more underrated side deck cards. I don't know. I mean, it's banned in advanced format for a reason. No, that's bad logic. Well, usually Jowgen, it's like, normally Jowgen gets summoned in attack. Like, obviously, if you don't kill it after the first turn, they can switch it to defense. But, like, Fusler can attack over a Jowgen in either battle position. We can Vortex and kill it. I mean, does normal Reasoning Gate have, like, a lot more outs to Jowgen? Like, let me look at my normal build, if I have it. Yeah, this is, like, kind of my normal builds. And I mean, we have Brain Control. We can go Brain Control, Tribute the Jowgen. And here we also have Torrential and Ring to kill Jowgen. So yeah, this build has a few more outs. Like I said, like the main strength for this deck is, yeah, I was watching the chat when I activated pre and then I misplayed. I don't really have Warriors built right now. I mean, I don't know if you count this Warriors. I played this on stream before. And I mean, it did well. Like, I won every game that I played this on stream, but I don't know if you would call this Warriors. It's basically like hope to summon Cyberstein and win. It's very similar to like Kitsuko's builds. Like Kitsuko topped a major with a deck like this. I don't know, it was like maybe 4 months ago. And this is like maybe, I don't know, like 1 or 2 cards off from his build. Or actually, I'm not sure if Kitsuko is playing Spy. He might have not been playing Spy. But I felt like if we're playing Zaborg, we probably want to be playing Spy as well. And like Spy kind of helps you stall and preserve your life to summon Stein. All right, we'll play some Library FTK. I've had multiple people request at this point. And I mean, this is another one where it's a little hit or miss. Hold on, it's like a card that you can Rhoda for, and it can sack Ojama tokens and attacks under Gravity Bind. And keep in mind, like, it can also trigger your Last Will. Can this guy sack himself? I mean, based on the way that it's worded, I don't know. It's not clear to me if this guy can tribute himself. Because the card is worded kind of ambiguously. To me, it would make sense that it could not tribute itself, because how can it increase its attack if it doesn't exist anymore? I'd be sick if it could tribute itself. But anyways, let's play some Library FTK. Yeah, I mean, with old GOAT format cards, like, you never know how they work. Sometimes they work very unintuitively. So, like, one important ruling to know for GOAT format for the machine deck that I just played is that you can tribute Last Warrior from another planet to tribute summon a monster, which can actually be extremely relevant sometimes. Like, you can just be like, oh, I top deck Jinzo. I'm going to tribute my Last Warrior for a Jinzo. Lock down all your traps, and then, like, reasoning into something and kill you. And that's, like, another ruling where, like, you know, it's another ruling where it seems, like, very unintuitive. Yeah, I mean, with the Little Swordsman, to me, that ruling makes sense that it can't tribute itself. But, like, obviously, if that card was printed today, it would have the wording, like, tribute another monster to do whatever. Well, I lost connection. What time is it? Oh, it's only 11:14. Got, like, at least another hour here. But here's the thing with these combo decks. In a way, actually... In a way, I think Library FTK is very similar to Machine Gate in that they both have a very high ceiling, but they can just lose to themselves. And, you know, I think a lot of people don't like playing decks that can lose to themselves, so to speak. But, you know, as someone who's been a competitive TCG player for God knows how long, one of the things that I've realized is a win is a win and a loss is a loss. Like, it doesn't matter how you got it. Right? Whereas, like, some people, I almost feel like they're willing to accept more losses if the losses feel close. Right? Like, oh, I could have won. And it's like, I don't care about if I lost by 100 life points. Loss is a loss. Yeah, we'll just do this. End phase Goats. He's just gonna go Goats meta, I guess. Oh, we're up against Reasoning Gate. This is kind of a tough matchup. I'll just do level 8, I guess. He's main decking Crossout in his Reasoning Gate deck. That's an interesting choice. Okay, well, he literally can't use Stein's effect. I mean, if he can clear a goat, he can use the effect, but I don't know how he's going to do that. All right, well, now we just win. Like, unless he kills our Cyberjar, we're just going to win. Oh, okay, well, somehow he mains 2 crossouts in his Reasoning Gate deck. That's an interesting choice, needless to say. But we're just probably still going to win anyway. Because he's got a Jinzo in play, so we don't have to worry about, like, our library getting ringed. And the fact that we're at 37, if anything, the fact that we're at 37 could almost be, like, a good thing. Yeah, I guess we'll use the reload in our hand. Well, Thunder Dragon's a good draw. So I think now we set... Yeah, set Trunade. Activate card destruction for 4. And then, yeah, I'd say our odds of winning here are like 99% at this point. Oh, and we have Trunade on top. That is really sick, actually. Why would libraries struggle under wizard time rules? It's the opposite. So like, someone asked me about this on YouTube too. So the reason why library does better under time wizard rules is because fewer people play Solemn Judgment when time comes into play. Whereas for us, there's no downside. Because if time gets called, we just win in our main phase, right? Like, we don't care. And I don't really want to draw this premature. So I'll just draw the bottom card, or the top card, whatever you call it, I suppose. Should we pre for more counters? Well, we're going to use this oath at least 2 more times. We're going to go to 17. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to use pre yet. Spell reproduction is decent. Why? Okay. So yeah, we'll activate Convulsion. That puts a second counter on Library. And then we'll Trunade for the third. None of these are particularly helpful. Alright, we'll just activate Convulsion. And go Feather, discard Library, and put, yeah, I think Pot of Greed on top. And then free the Library. And then activate Pot of Greed. Draw 1, draw 2. And yeah, now we just need to pay ourselves down. Yeah, we just need to pay ourselves down enough. Yeah, and then yeah, we can just feather. We can feather Trunade to the top, Trunade everything, activate Oath, and then yeah, and then that's game. Okay. And let me make sure all of our monsters are gone. Okay, yeah, we've used all of our monsters, so this is just guaranteed game. Sure. So we'll just wrap this up here. I'll just draw 2 more because I have nothing better to do. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention to the chat because I was just trying to focus on making sure I do my shit right. Yeah, it's, Des Wombat, it's interesting because people used to like cite it quite a lot. And then, I mean, I'm not gonna like take credit for this, but myself and a lot of other players pointed out that like it basically does nothing versus the meta as a whole. Um, so versus Reasoning Gate, is there anything that we cite in? I don't think so. Well, I guess you could argue Cyberjar isn't great if he's playing like double crossout. Yeah, but then if he doesn't have the crossout, then it is good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we need to cite anything. But yeah, the problem with Des Wombat is, like the most popular burn deck just plays cards that can attack over it, right? I mean, that's like the real problem. And with Library, it's largely the same thing, because you could just premature a Thunder Dragon, attack the Des Wombat, and then do whatever the hell you want. So, there's two cards that we're worried about. Cyberstein and Spellcanceller. And then it's like, yeah, I'll just call level 5. Because we also saw Air Knight. And if he flips into Air Knight, he could meta the Air Knight into a Balter, and that would also be kind of scary. Oh, we got Oath on top. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like kind of a weird play. I think I'm gonna go Feather. It's weird. He's like thinking on every single card. Solemn on pot would be good, but if he had Solemn, I feel like he would have used it forever ago. So yeah, now we can just thin out the deck. And And I love the Toon Table Convulsion interaction. That's like one of my favorite things about this deck, is how we can use the shuffles to kind of like, you know, manipulate our odds, so to speak. So like, since there's a Trinade on top, I'm not going to activate the other Toon Table. I'm just going to do this. Oh, okay, that's clever, I guess. Realistically, he should have used that MST like forever ago. Yeah, Feather Oath is also a cool trick. Definitely a cool trick. Spell Reproduction is a good card. So what should we call an Oath? Probably like a 3 of that we don't have yet. Which I literally can't think of any. Or something that like we don't want to mill. Something we want to thin out our deck of. We could have just... I should have just used Feather. Eh. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I probably should have just feathered for Pot of Greed. I think that was the play. Oh yeah, I could have called Thunder Dragon. The actual play was just to feather for Pot of Greed, which is what I think I'm gonna do now. All right, Thunder Dragon's good. I think I'll probably just reload. Because we could spell Reproduction for Pot of Greed again, but we have to discard 2 spells. We've used 2 feathers, no spell Reproduction. I might even just... I think I'll just set spell reproduction. And then reload for 5. And then we'll get the other Thunder Dragon. And then we'll draw with Library. And then we'll go activate Oath for a counter. I guess we'll just use call Convulsion of Nature. Oh, card destruction. We have Pendant in our grave and Reversal Quiz in our grave. Yeah, that's going to make it very hard to FTK here. And we still need to pay ourselves down. I don't know, I think I'm just gonna try Convulsion of Nature again. Oh, that didn't help. Oh, this is getting kind of out of hand. Yeah, 1, 2. Pare ourselves down to 4. Yeah, the odds are not looking very good. I don't know, I think it's possible that we can still win. You get rid of pre and reload. Well, we're gonna need a way to pay ourselves down. So we go get back Trunade. let's think here. Let's think. So we need to get back the pendant and the quiz. So we can go Toon World, go to 25, trinate all our stuff, play it again. Yeah, I think this works actually. Yeah, I think this works. We can draw. We can play Toon World. Oh no, we need to have cards in our deck for Oath. So we can't draw with Library here. We cannot draw with Library. Which is pretty key to realize. If I drew with Library, we would just be punting here. Oh, but we can, yeah, we can feather something to the top, then draw that card with Library. Yeah, we feather Trunade to the top. And then, well, do we have enough spells to discard? I don't know. I think this is the only way that this works. We go feather, discard this, put Trunade on top. And I won't be able to activate Convulsion, so I need to know what the last card in my deck is. Is it Cyberjar? Yeah, we didn't side out Cyberjar. Well, if it's Cyberjar, then it doesn't matter. It's not a spell, right? Hold on, are we gonna have enough spells to make this work? All right. Yeah, it's not. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Oh, but the problem is... Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's two issues, and we're not going to have a card in our deck. Yeah, we needed another spell in our hand and another card in our deck. There might have been some way that we, like, missequenced that. But you notice, like, one of the big issues that game is we weren't able to pay enough life. And that, like, that can be the downside of, like, activating level limit there. Because if we hadn't activated level limit, our opponent's Sacred Crane and our Library would have been an attack. And then we could have attacked with our Library into the Sacred Crane to basically deal ourselves 1,600 damage. And then because of that, we would have FTK'd. Yeah, the problem is, like, if we'd kept the Toon World, then we would have had to, like, discard something else. So it's... it's one of those things where you're kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? At first I thought I had like a convulsion in this hand, but I had double oath instead. Alright, I'll just say go. It would have been nice if we had even just milled the library. Then we could have just gone pre, get back to library. Yeah, I tell you, it's like, again, all I want is for the top card to be a Convulsion of Nature or a Library. It can be either one. And now we can get kind of blown out by Heavy Storm. That's, you know, that's kind of the unfortunate thing. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this Pot of Greed. Okay, well, a draw 3 is pretty good as it turns out. Oh, especially when you just draw these sick cards. And now it's a question of, should I play the Convulsion? Like, should I play the Convulsion before I Trunade? That's kind of like the $1 million question. I think I won't. I still have 3 spell reproductions in my deck. So I think I'm going to activate both Oaths, call spell reproduction, and then Trunade. I think that's the play. Well, our opponent has 3 backwards. I really don't want to just lose because our opponent has MST, or because he cited in Dust Tornado. Yeah, see? This is what we get for, you know, not taking unnecessary risks. And we did mill our library, which is good. That's what we like to see. Yeah, now we're kind of stuck. Yeah, now we're just stuck, unfortunately. Oh, and our opponent has a Smashing Ground on the top of his deck, which is kind of funny. Man, that was, like, really unlucky. We, like, drew a bunch of cards. And none of them really panned out. I mean, I can draw a card and activate Oath, but then I have no board space. Like, it's literally impossible to win. Oh no, I guess we could set Cyberjar, and then if our opponent doesn't cross out the Cyberjar, we could flip Cyberjar to get rid of our library and also get rid of the pre. But the problem is that if he has cross out, then we're just locked out of the game, because even all of our Thunder Dragons are gone. We can't even tribute library for Thunder Dragon. So, I mean, we're definitely gonna, you know, activate Level Limit and draw a card. And we're also going to set Cyberjar. And then I think we pass. No, I mean, he should definitely keep Crossout in. Like, it's probably better than, like, a lot of other stuff in his deck. Like, he might just cross out and attack us for game here. Oh, okay, well then... Cyberjar... Yeah, I think we just flip Cyberjar and that's game, probably. Right? Is there any way we can lose after a draw 5? I highly doubt it. Oh, I do want to draw Reload, though. So I think I will activate the Conversion. And then we'll just flip this. Yeah, I was kind of hoping one of my draws might be a library, but it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, we want to be paying a lot of life. Want to go like Oath. And then we want to activate Toon World. And we're going to pay 15 more, go to 12. Yeah, let's do this. I just conceded. I mean, we were probably going to win. Let's actually play it out. Let's actually play it out. I think what I was going to do is this. and then do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're gonna go. And then draw 9. And then go summon library. Yeah, activate upstart, I guess. Activate upstart again. I guess we'll use oath. And yeah, we can feather something and draw it with library. Maybe feather graceful, or no, probably just feather Trunade. Yeah, I think we just go feather Trunade. That puts the third counter on library, and then we remove them, and then we draw into the Trunade. Then we go activate Toon Worlds, pay 1,000, and then we activate Trunade. And then we go activate Oath to draw the bottom card. And then we go activate Convulsion. And then we go down to 700 to draw this. And then I think we can just go, yeah, we can just go like feather for Trunade again, or repro for Trunade. So we get rid of, yeah, we don't need either of these. Well, we definitely don't need Toon Worlds. Literally dead cards. And then we go Trunade, that's the third counter. These go to our hand. And then we... Yeah, we can draw this. And then we can go Convulsion, Oath. Draw this, and then we just feather a random card to the top of our deck. Oh, and we paid 500 for that Oath. But yeah, we just feather a random card to the top of our deck. And then we go Pendant, Quiz, that's game. So, yeah, I think what I'm gonna do now is I'll play one match with Empty Jar. And then I'm going to call it a day for the stream. Because Empty Jar's, I don't know, in some ways I think Empty Jar can be more enjoyable than Library. I'm not saying it like 100% is, but it can be. This is not really the best hand, if I'm being totally honest. Well, I guess we'll set this. Activate reload. I'll be honest, I don't think the spell economics FTK is very good. I mean, like, I don't know. I would just rather play a different combo deck. It seems like too many hoops to jump through. Our opponent drew 6 and passed, which is often indicative of some combo deck itself. Oh, okay. He is playing a combo deck. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna say go. I will say if our opponent is on like library, it is a really rough matchup. If he is on library though, the fact that we gave him 1,000 life makes it a lot more difficult for him to FTK us, right? Post side, I think on my side I have 3 drag down into the grave. And drag down makes the matchup not totally unwinnable. Oh, I think I also have prohibition in the side. I mean, it could be an empty jar mirror. Wow, he's going repro? Repro for what? Repro for reload? That just seems like a horrible misplay. I don't know. I mean, I suppose he could just get a really great reload. I live in Cambodia, which is why, like, people in chat always ask, oh, when are you gonna, like, play in a GOAT format tournament or whatever? And it's like, well, as soon as they hold one that's in a decent time zone. Oh, he quit. This guy's no fun. All right, well, we don't count that one. We don't count that one. Gonna do one more. But yeah, I tell you guys, you know, Southeast Asia really underrated. I'm against like a high-rated player. He's like 11. That's high, right? I don't know. Find out. What do you mean? Why not Cambodia? Do you have something against Cambodia? It's great here. If you guys want to check out my other channel, by the way, see what life is like in Cambodia. Channel's called Alan in Asia. And that goes over, you know, a lot of why I live in Cambodia, right? I mean, it's kind of the idea. But basically, the TLDR is everything's cheap and everyone's really friendly, right? I mean, what more can you ask for? Seriously? We're up against an empty jar mirror? Am I getting trolled here? I don't know, it doesn't look like empty jar. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate here exactly. This is kind of cool actually because we can combo off our opponent's morphing jar. So yeah, we'll just feather graceful to the top. Our opponent is playing some weird brew. So yeah, I guess we'll just Trunade and then probably kill our opponent. Just to, you know, make sure he doesn't have something. Well, now he can't Shallow Grave. Which is a little unfortunate. And we already normal summoned. Yeah, the goats kind of screwed us over. Can you chain a set spell to Trunade? Yes, if it is a quick play spell. Yeah, he's playing Cold Wave too. Yeah. So I think if you change I don't know. I think if you change Scapegoat to Shallow Grave tries to resolve as much as possible. But if you use the Scapegoat first, then Shallow Grave just can't be activated. I think. Thanks, 25-7. All right, well, this is only 1,200 damage a turn, so it's like, yeah, he can just keep using Cold Wave, but it doesn't accomplish anything. I don't know. I'm sure there's a correct discard here, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe we don't need 2 Shallow Graves. All right, so next turn I'm like pretty sure. Well, we can't Shallow Grave. Well, we can summon Morphing Jar, attack a goat, and then activate Shallow Grave. I think that's the play, actually. I never thought I'd be doing this play, but here we are. Yeah, he doesn't have anything relevant that he can get back with Shallow Grave. Or we can Bookateu the Morphing. Yeah, I think that's better, actually. And then we can attack, and then we can Shallow Grave. Do we have a Bookateu in our grave already? No, we do not. So yeah, now we can just go. Yeah, we can go Shallow Grave for Faith, and then go Card Destruction, and then Bookateu the Faith, Card Destruction again. I have no idea what this guy's deck is, but it has 3 Cold Waves. Yeah, I mean, he's got some tools against us for sure. The main things that we want to be watching out for are Cyberstein and Cold Wave, right? If we're being totally honest. I mean, also Scapegoat, like going the whole, oh, I'm going to chain goats to your Trunade. Like, that's obviously a really good play. I think we want goats in against him ourselves. Just because, you know, can stop like a Cyberstein OTK, because we saw Stein and we saw Cold Wave. So if he goes Cold Wave, we go chain goats. That's like a really strong option. Yeah, I mean, goats is good. I mean, after you draw, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of an uphill battle, right? Like, just in the meta in general. Like, almost every deck has something that they can use to stop your combo. It's just a different card in every deck, right? Like, Goat Control has Scapegoat. Chaos Turbo has, like, Raigeki Break and Dust Shoot. Even, I don't know, I might even just side in, like, Gravity Bind. Just, again, like, activate Cold Wave, we go chain Gravity Binds. Like, seems decent-ish. I don't know, we're gonna try this. Yeah, once he uses goats, that's kind of it. I mean, going first, he might just go activate Cold Wave, kill you. You know, kill us on turn 2, that is. What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna Monster Gate, okay. Yeah, for some reason he thought that he got to search for Last Will before Gate. That is not at all how that works. Oh, so I guess he's played Gravekeeper's Cannon Holder as a spy target so that spy can trigger Last Will. Like, you can go spy search Cannon Holder tribute spy, resolve Last Will. I don't think that's a great deck building choice necessarily, but it is a synergy that I haven't seen before, so that's kind of cool. And now I'm guessing he'll Stein for Balter. I mean, you could Stein for Last Warrior as well, but I think Balter is generally better. Okay. Because now, like, realize if we just... For one thing, you know, we can just go through our deck, and we can activate Book of Teu under a Last Warrior, right? Because it's not a, you know, it's not a summon. So, you know, for all the Stein players out there, Balter is the pick. And also, like, if we had a Sangan, then, like, if Balter attacks the Sangan, the effect is negated. Like, there's, in general, you know, there's a lot more ways to get value out of Balter. Oh, whoops. So now we're just hoping to draw one of our jars. Perfect. Yeah, he thinks that Last Warrior stopped Book of Teu, but sorry, buddy. Yeah, and now my opponent is having an absolute meltdown in the chat. Yeah, he just quit. All right, I guess we'll call it a day. I mean, my wife came home, I don't know, 15 minutes ago or something. But yeah, he like absolutely had a meltdown in chat. I don't even want to show the chat because it might get me demonetized on YouTube. Like that's the kind of stuff he was saying. Yeah. And this is why, like, you'll see he's a fairly high-rated player with a lot of experience, and he doesn't know how his cards work, and he's, saying stuff that would get you banned on a lot of platforms, and nothing's going to happen to him. And it's like, I don't care, right? I mean, he's, like, telling me to unalive myself and similar things. But it's like, Like, in my opinion, like, if I'm, dictator of GOAT format for a day, these people just be banned. Because it's like, it's sort of a utilitarian view on who should be allowed into your community. Like, if one person's bad behavior causes 3 people to quit GOAT format, then it's, it's kind of like a trolley problem, right? It's like, would you want to ban one person to prevent 3 people from leaving? I would say yes. Not that, like, this is all an exact science or anything, but yeah, it's probably a tangent I shouldn't talk about too much. I don't even know if I would have killed my opponent this turn, right? Because we got, oh no, we could go Shallow Grave. Yeah, we could go, like, Shallow Grave, Feather. So here would be my play, by the way. This is set. We would go discard Thunder Dragon. Add Thunder Dragon to our hands. And then go... Oh, whoops. Sorry, not that. We would go... We do this. And then boom, this guy's set. And then I would go Feather, discard Thunder Dragon, put Book of Teu on top, and then upstart, add it to our hands, and then boom. Yeah, you're right. People in tournaments are usually, like, a bit more respectful, which is good. I mean, my standard would be, like, if saying a particular thing would get you DQ'd from an IRL tournament, you shouldn't be saying it online. Right? Like, if I was playing against someone at a YCS and FTK'd them and they just started crashing out, oh, you're, like, the worst person ever, you should, do this, do that, you're a piece of shit, whatever. It's like... and there was a judge listening, I'd say it would likely be a DQ for unsportsmanlike conduct. And yeah, so that's basically my opinion. I mean, obviously I believe in, like, freedom of speech, but this isn't a freedom of speech issue. This is a being respectful to other people issue. But yeah. Probably would have gone off, I think, because we would have drawn another 5 off Cyberjar. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe this is why people don't play combo decks. Because they just don't like their opponents getting mad. I don't know, I mean, personally, I think we should normalize combo decks in GOAT format. I know people will just say, oh no, that's not GOAT format. But I mean, all these Chaos decks weren't really, like, the vision of GOAT format either. Some people, it's like, they could just never be happy. Like, you play Warriors and they say, oh, Warriors are lame. You just dust-shooted Solemn Blade Knighted me. You play combo decks and people go, well, that's lame because you FTK'd. And then you play, like, a Chaos Turbo deck and then people get mad that you opened, like, Thunder Dragon Graceful and they go, that's lame. So it's like, well, by that logic, I guess everyone should just play GOAT Control then, but no one actually plays GOAT Control. Like, you've got all these hypocrites out here. Like, our opponent, so one of the things he said, oh, your deck is a solitaire deck. My opponent was running, like, 3 Cold Waves and multiple Cybersteins. Like, that's somehow less lame than Empty Jar? I don't know. Like, by the way, I'm not saying his deck is lame. I'm just saying that, like, people are just incredibly, incredibly hypocritical. Incredibly hypocritical. I don't know, to me, like, if you play Chaos Turbo, you have no right to complain about anything. Not because Chaos Turbo is lame, but because, like, you're playing the deck that, like, 40% of players are playing. So if you're playing the most popular deck, and someone shows up with a combo deck and counters you, my view is, like, that's what you get. You know what I mean? Like, You have no right to complain. Like, that's just the nature of playing meta. It's like people are going to try to counter you. And sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Obviously, people have different views on what counters different decks. But, like, yeah, I think you have no right to complain. I think Goat Control players, like, are probably the only ones that have, like, a right to complain. Warrior players don't really have a right to complain either, because, like, their deck, like, has such a good matchup spread that yeah, you should just be winning a lot of games. And if you aren't winning a lot of games with Warriors, it's probably because you don't know how to play the deck. Yeah. And then if you're playing any sort of alt-win deck, you don't really have a right to complain about the other alt-win decks. Again, my opponent's playing 3 Cold Waves, Last Will, Stein, Injection Fairy Lily, and he's, like, finding a way to complain about it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I agree with you, Gulaz. Like, your statement is one of those things that, like, it's just obvious to anyone with, like, a shred of common sense. But, like, we've never been anywhere close to the meta being 50% library, or even 50% combo. So it's actually interesting. Hold on, I'll pull up the the poll, because I think this is interesting. Oh, I'm going to go to YouTube Studio. Because I did this poll about, like, what's the best strategy in GOAT format. On posts, where is it? So I had this poll asking people, like, what they think the best general strategy in GOAT format is. And what's interesting is because these percentages almost align exactly with the meta. Like, this poll indicates that, like, with regards to this question, there are no hypocrites, right? Because if the poll ended up being, like, 50% of people answering combo, then that would beg the question of, then why don't 50% of people play combo? Or, you know, same thing with, like, aggro, right? If, like, aggro got 50%, then it would beg the question of why aren't 50% of people playing aggro? But this is almost exactly the actual percentages of what people play. The meta in GOAT format right now is roughly 60% control, 28% aggro, 12% combo. I think maybe you could argue it's a little more aggro and a little less combo. Like, maybe you could argue that it's closer to, like, 60-30-10, but almost, like, exactly the percentage of what people actually play. I don't think this question has, like, a right answer, by the way. Like, I'm not going to argue, like some person said, like, oh, if you didn't answer combo, you're an idiot. I don't think so. I think you can think that one of these other things is the best general strategy. In many ways, again, I would almost argue that, like, aggro, I think you can make the case that aggro is better than combo. Because aggro kind of, like combo, kills quickly, but it has, like, a lot more stability and a lot of ways to sort of, like, counter other decks. So if you say, like, aggro is better than combo, I wouldn't blame you. And, like, obviously control is fine too. If control, like, wasn't good, then we would never see it win. But, like, you got to know what you're doing. You know, you can't just copy, like, the latest list and expect that you're going to, like, crush a lot of tournaments. So, yeah. TLDR, I think we should normalize playing combo. Because, on one hand, it's like, obviously this poll shows that most people think combo is not very good, but then people also complain about it, right? Like, you know, since I know some people play melee, like, the melee analogy would be like, you play Fox but complain about Roy. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't complain about something that you think is bad, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like, if someone showed up with a bad deck, I'd be happy. I'd be like, great, you're playing a bad deck. But people, it's weird. They've never seen it that way. This was true, like, back when I played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, 15 years ago, and it's still true now. People will simultaneously tell you that combo is bad and combo is unfair. And it's like, pick one. Can't be both. So, yeah, I'm going to call it